So in this set of series of the Let's Talk About It series, we are going to be going into or delving into the topic of, drum roll, no, I'm kidding. We're going to be talking about something that has been so fundamental to my life's journey in particular. And I would say is really at the forefront of making me who I am today and the person that I am today. And it is the number one thing that I stand for. And that is truth. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be talking about truth. Okay, so, I mean, that word is loaded. And it seems to me in this day and age that truth is becoming more and more difficult to find. It is becoming more and more difficult to figure out. The most obvious reason for that is that the world is built on lies. This is what the Bible tells us. This is what we know as Christians to be true. The world is built on lies. But, you know, when you're going about your day-to-day activities, you don't necessarily see that. And so what I have come to realize, or what has become very obvious, is that the world has gotten better and better at lying, right? It's gotten better and better at deception. And so it is much more difficult to discern the deception and the lies, because the structures of the world has gotten more sophisticated at being able to cover up the lies, at being able to present truth as if it were truth. And this is then why this topic becomes even more significant for us to talk about in this day and age. And so, as we always do, let's talk about it. Okay, so why do people lie? I'm going to be sharing 3 reasons why people lie. There may be more, but for me, these are like the 3 top reasons why people lie. Okay, number 1 is self-preservation. It's probably one of the most fundamental desires of human nature is to preserve ourselves, right? Is to protect ourselves, and is to preserve our reputation and our image, our self-image. And that's one of the biggest reasons why people lie. The second reason is fear. The fear of man in particular, as the Bible talks about, right? It's the fear of the consequences of telling the truth. That is such a deep-rooted thing. And again, it kind of leads back into the first reason. Again, it's the desire to preserve ourselves. So fear, being afraid of negative consequences. And then the third reason is many people believe that without lying, you can't get things done. So lying is the means to achieve results. And so that's a third reason why people lie, because they want to get ahead, they want to achieve results, and they think that by telling the truth, the results won't come, or maybe it won't come fast enough. And so they have to lie, they have to deceive in order to get results. So these are the 3 top things that I'm going to be basing this entire series for. And we're going to be delving more into it. And of course, we cannot talk about the truth without actually asking ourselves the question, what is truth? What is truth? And ladies and gentlemen, it may or may not surprise you to know that the truth is not a thing. The truth is not a thing. The truth is a person. And I'm going to explain myself further. The truth is a person. There is only one person in history of the human race that claims to be the truth. And do you know who that person is? That person is Jesus Christ. And so Jesus Christ is actually the truth. The truth is Jesus Christ, and Jesus Christ is God. And so the truth is God, or the truth comes from God. Now, one of the biggest questions of our time is the question of relative morality versus objective truth. So is there a thing such as objective truth? Are some things fundamentally true, or can we create our own version of truth and it be true for me, and what is true for me would be different from what is true for you? Now, we know based on the fundamental laws of the universe that there is objective truth. That is using science. But we also know from personal experience that there is objective truth. For example, I am sitting right now talking to you. I am not right now outside. I am in a room and I am speaking. Same way as whatever you are doing right now, watching this video, you are doing that thing right now. That is objectively true. Somebody saying that you are doing something else that is vastly different from what you were doing would not be true. So we know from personal experience that there is objective truth. But the question of objective truth always seems to come from morality. Whenever morality is being discussed, that is when all of a sudden people begin to question if there's objective reality. Like, we don't question it in any other sphere of our lives except when it comes to morality. And what I mean by morality is when we're deciding what is right and wrong. You know, so for example, oh, is it right for me to do this? And then all of a sudden it's like, well, what's to say? And guys, ladies and gentlemen, people, anybody and everybody listening to this, there is one reason behind this fundamentally. We know objective truth exists in every other aspect of our lives except morality. And the reason for that is because the human nature does not want to submit to a higher authority. That is the truth of the whole argument regarding morality, objective truth, or subjective morality. Human beings don't want to submit to God. Human beings want to run our own lives. And so once we are being told as human beings in our fallen nature, that doesn't apply to me because I'm redeemed, but for just the human that is still in their fallen nature, when they are being told that something other than themselves is telling them what is right and what is wrong, the natural reaction is to revolt, is to rebel. That's the natural reaction. That is one of the biggest struggles that humanity has to go through. As long as we're still on this earth, we are fighting that desire to be gods unto ourselves, because that's what it is. When you have ultimate control over how your life goes and how you want your life to be, you have become God. You have become a god to yourself. And that's what the battle is all about, ladies and gentlemen. But you see, the one thing about truth is that the truth does not care about people's perception, about people's ideas, about all the different theories that are out there. The truth will always remain the truth. So here's the thing. I mentioned earlier that Jesus Christ is the truth. And I also mentioned that the world is built on lies. Now, Jesus Christ said something very fundamental. He said lies originates from somewhere. Lies originate from someone. And so it is not about truth versus lie as things. It is about truth versus lie as personalities, as beings of existence. Jesus Christ said that lies originate from the devil, and the devil is the father of all lies. He was the first liar, and from him stems all lies. Just the same way that Jesus Christ is the truth, and from him stems all truth. So all the truth that we understand about the universe, how the universe works, how Earth works, the laws of nature, the laws of physics, our observed experiences on Earth, and so on and so forth, all the indications that let us know that there is objective truth, it all stems from Jesus Christ, who is truth. And all the lies that we see in the world system, all the deception, all the deceit, it all stems from one person, and that is Satan. That is the devil. And so that is what it's actually all about. When you strip everything away, it boils down to Jesus Christ versus the devil. Truth versus lies. And here's something else about the truth. You see, because the foundation of the world was built on truth, truth is the only thing that lasts. Truth is the only thing that stands the test of time. And when I say thing, I mean existence, right? Because we already know that truth is a person. But truth is the only existence that will withstand everything that is thrown at it, because it is truth, because it is reality, because it cannot be undone. Truth cannot be torn apart. Truth cannot be destroyed. Truth will always remain. And it is so important to know this, because some people put their hope, their faith in lies. They think that through lies, they will succeed, they will get away with things, they will ultimately prevail. But that is another lie. That is a lie from the devil, because truth is the only thing that stands the test of time. Truth is the only foundation that stands. Every other foundation that is built on lies will surely and most definitely fall and crumble and be destroyed. Definitely. Always. Truth is the only thing that will survive. And so truth is so important to be able to recognize, and even more important, to be able to walk in. Because what Jesus calls all of his followers to do, every follower of Jesus Christ on this earth is called to walk in truth. And I'm going to be going further into what does that mean? What does walking in truth mean as we continue through this series? So I want to thank you for joining me in this first episode, and I will see you in the next episode. God bless you. And as always, peace out.